Hey everyone, welcome to Paranormal Wavelengths, very first episode of Paratopics with Bob. In just a little bit, we are going to be bringing our guest on through this TV right here. I bought it from some creepy dude in a back alley for $5 only. I thought it was an awesome deal, but then the guy told me either the TV's cursed or it's blessed, and that I can get my guests through this TV to talk to you, the viewers, when give some information out that they have about different topics in the paranormal field. So it's going to be very awesome, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's a blessed TV, not a cursed TV. So keep your fingers crossed. The guy said you either had to bang on a TV or press these buttons and that. So we're going to get our guest on here in just a minute, which is going to be James Annitto. He is a demonologist, a deacon of the Old Catholic Church, paranormal investigator, and researcher. So, a very cool guy. I got to meet him last year at an event. Didn't get to talk to him as much as I wanted to, so I definitely had to get him on. So, before I keep gabbing in that, let's get him on here and see what we can do. I think we're going to start pressing buttons. Even though I'm kind of a guy that just likes kicking things and punching things to get it to work, I'm going to try and press some buttons here. Let's see. What the hell is that? Why is electricity? Are you freaking kidding me? Really? First show back and the TV goes out? Ooh, I think it might be cursed. I don't think so. The good thing is, I'm a paranormal investigator, and what does every good paranormal investigator have on them? A flashlight. So, let me get up here. I'm going to go see what's going on. Why this power went out. I don't know if the TV shot the breaker or not, but alright. I will be back in just a couple minutes. Let me go pop the breaker, and if you're cursed, I don't care, because I'm a very competitive person, and I will win this no matter what you do. So, alright, I'll be right back. Oh crap, yeah. I'm okay. Everything's cool. Right back.
Oh, you made me laugh. We'll see who wins.
Hello? Someone there? Hello? I heard something.
Hey Bob, you there?
James, that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Alright, the power's back on. I'm coming down.
Alright, cool.
Awesome, the power's back up. I'm not sure if it was the TV that caused this, but we are back, powered up, and we have James Annitto on. How you doing tonight, James?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing better now. I'm not sure. I bought this TV from some creepy dude in the alleyway. He told me it's either cursed or it's blessed. I think I've gotten both ends right now. My power went out, but it came back on, and I got you through the TV, so I guess the guy was telling the truth about my guests coming through the TV. Woohoo!
I know, it could be me or Big Brother on right now. What the heck? I think that's awesome.
They can still be watching. So, I posted a banner up and everything about our interview, and people that don't know James, I got to meet him last year at an awesome event. It was run by a friend of mine, Wayward Souls, at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. And it was just very awesome meeting you and talking with you. I wish I could have got to talk to you more during an event, but it was so hectic with so many people there. That's why I wanted to get you on here. And like I said, if people don't know, you're a demonologist, a deacon of the Old Catholic Church, investigator, and researcher. So we got a main topic tonight. This is a new segment I'm doing called Paratopics with Bob.
All right.
And I had messaged you and talked to you. The main topic tonight is demons everywhere, true or false. But before we get to that, I saw not too long ago you became a deacon.
I did. Yes, I did.
Can you elaborate how you became a deacon?
So, basically, getting into paranormal, I decided to get into ministry work. And at first, I was a part of the Church of Christ as a deliverance minister. And then I'm good friends with Bishop James Long, who is part of the Council of Bishops of the United States Old Catholic Church.
Yes.
And we had talked before, and of course we are in like-minded work. He's an exorcist, but I am a demonologist. Of course, two different titles and two different meanings as well. But I've always been interested in possibly joining the priesthood, even as a deliverance minister for the Church of Christ. I would have been a convert if I did become a priest within the Catholic Church. So, I had talked to Bishop Long, and, he said, yeah, we would love to have you, and that he would, be willing to train me. Of course, I would have to go through the necessary steps, and, of course, going to seminary, which is just like college, basically for a divinity degree. So I've been in seminary for a little over a year now, and, people say, oh, only a little over a year, but it's an accelerated seminary. So we do 1 month courses, which would be like 3 months or sometimes even longer than that in a true university setting. So we have an accelerated program. So we learn all the good stuff, all the nitty gritty stuff, and we learn everything we need to do our roles. So we do it very fast paced. A month class and a 3 month, a month class and a 3 month class is very hectic. But so I've been in seminary, and I fortunately met all my goals within seminary and all the classes that I needed to become elevated to the office of the diaconate. And so we had a retreat this past July, and I was able to be ordained. I was able to get the lay of hands on me and receive holy orders and be able to officially receive the title of deacon. So it was very, very honored. It's been a tough work, and my next goal, of course, is holding a deacon for a year. I'm able to become a priest, and when I become a priest is when I start my training for becoming an exorcist. I have to, of course, do the steps, because that is what is mandatory to the Catholic Church.
See, that's awesome. First off, you started off with Bishop Long. I've met Bishop Long a few times, and just saying his name, his credentials are ready. Mm-hmm. And just you talking about having to do these classes and that, I don't want to sound negative, but I see so many people on Facebook and different media outlets talking about, hey, I became an ordained minister overnight. I filled out a little paperwork, and then they're starting to talk about that they can do do exorcisms and all of this. And it's crazy that people get like that, where you're here explaining, yeah, it's an accelerated class, but you're still taking a college type class, and you're doing all the work. You're not just getting something printed out up overnight. You're like, hey, look at me.
And it is a legitimate degree. It is a regionally accredited degree. So I don't have my bachelor's yet, but it's a bachelor's to a doctorate program within divinity. So you do get a legitimate a regional accredited degree. So it's tough. A lot of people want to call themselves an exorcist, a demonologist, and all that fun stuff, but they don't realize the training it takes. I'm young. But I've been in this field for 14 years, and so I was even younger, and people would always give me slack. Or crap, and they would say, oh, you need more training, you need more stuff. And of course, me being younger than them, but still being in the field longer than them, I said, okay, I'll give you what you want, because guess what? Knowledge doesn't hurt. So I continued doing these things and, joining the Catholic Church and now becoming a member of clergy, because I want to prove that you can put your mind to anything, but you can also prove to everybody that you are able to be the better person and do what's right.
See, that was the coolest thing you said. It never hurts to just keep educating yourself and gathering knowledge, because people just they think they get one certificate or they've done something long enough. It's like, oh, I'm an expert at it, I don't need to really know anything. I look at people, I don't care if you've been in it 1 year or been in it 20 years or 30 years. I feel we're all on the same level of being able to soak in the knowledge and learn. And I always tell people, just because someone's new in the field don't mean they don't have a voice or have something to contribute. And that was the coolest thing saying.
Hey man, the day that you stop learning is either you're in the ground or there's some medical reason that you're not learning anymore. Learning is full of mistakes and full of positive repercussions, but you can never stop learning, because then life's no longer interesting, in my opinion.
That's why I love the paranormal field. It's always changing year by year, and you're learning new stuff. Even I've been doing it for about 20 years now, and I still don't know half the stuff people know. I'm still learning and everything. But so the reason I wanted to let everyone know that you had just become a deacon in that, to show how committed you are to doing demonology and your faith and everything for this topic tonight.
Definitely.
Demons everywhere, true or false? Give us your opinion.
Well, I cannot. It's like asking me what a ghost is. The best thing is I can say I don't know. In my opinion, demons are true.
Yes.
But there's going to be many people that could, debate me and within their viewpoints could say it's false. So to me, I'd have to take the middle ground in a logical standpoint, because there is no way to factually, empirically prove demons exist at this point in time. But in my opinion of what I've seen and what I've based my faith off of and what I've dealt with, even on a medical and psychological level, because I do work with doctors and psychologists, because it is a mandatory thing for the church, and is also a mandatory thing that you should do in safety of yourself and safety of the other people that you're dealing with. So, there's things that have not been able to be explained by modern science or modern medicine, or whatever you want to associate psychology or the medical field with. So, in my opinion, it is true, but it is a very big rarity. So, I could say people that, are in the paranormal might never ever see a demon, So, it's really structured on that. I don't say I look for it, but it does come to me because I handle it. And I think that's, it's kind of like the laws of attraction. I deal with so much negative stuff, so a lot of negative stuff attracts to me. And it's the same thing, I'm also very positive, so I put a lot of positivity out there, and a lot of positive people come to me. So it works in that laws of attraction standpoint, in my opinion. So, for people that wanted to say, oh, it's empirically true, I cannot say that,
Yeah, the reason I made it the question like this, because lately, I haven't done residential in a while, but I used to do a lot of them. And if anything negative was going on there, everybody was jumping to the conclusion it was a demon. And my opinion is, like you said, I think there is something considered like a demon out there, because there's some really evil stuff going on I've seen.
Oh.
Ah! And
must have been a demon.
Yeah, look at this phone's being possessed. But I try and tell people, like you said, you worded it perfect. It's a rarity. I feel there is something out there, but it's very rare to come across them. And I try and tell people, just because something's negative going on in your house, my belief is, if someone's a jerk on this side, on this plane of living, just because they go to the other side, they don't always become the Holy Spirit and nice. They can still be a negative on the other side. It doesn't mean they're demonic. It's just their energy's still negative. And I try and tell people that.
I think, I try to look at it on an academia or historical aspect as well. You think about, you look at, when you look at Christianity or some of the modern day religions all the way back to animism, which is pretty much the granddaddy of all religions. If you look at every single religion within the branch line of how it splits off from animism, every single basic and modern day religion, Hinduism, which is the oldest modern day religion, you look at the three Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islamic, and Christianity, and then you look at a lot of the Egyptian folklores, the mythologies, the Greek mythologies, and every single aspect of religion has had a concept of evil. And, even though they were different names, but the word demon comes from, Greek and Latin, more so Greek mythology, more so. But, the idea of evil has been around since, the first concept of man. So it's hard for me to discredit any possibilities of it because it's been passed down for so long. You think about psychology, psychology has only been pretty much predominant the past 50 or so years. And you look at how old mankind and the idea of religion is, and it's been around for mostly that whole time period. So you really got to look at sometimes the length and the history of how long the concept of evil has been around. And that's what basically a demon is within the Christian aspect. It's evil, it's pure evil, it's pure spirit of evil. So it's hard not to take all that history and all the folklores, mythologies, and the people what they believed and seen before in the past, and not call any possibility of plausible.
Now, with about the religion and that, do you think sometimes people, or not so much the religion part, but do you think people think there's demons everywhere lately because of the entertainment business?
Well, that's really the big cake of it too. Exorcisms have been around for a little bit. Actually, as long as pretty much Christianity has been around, you think about what Jesus was doing in the Bible, and Jesus, of course, is historical fact. The ley lines of what he did and all that stuff could always be debated, but he was historical fact, and it predates that. But you think about the movie The Exorcist, which came out, I think, the 1970s, if I'm correct. Basically kind of started the rampance of more in the pop culture of demons and exorcisms being performed, and that's when the church started seeing really kind of an uplifting cases these past 40-50 years or so. So it really does show, but people make that argument and look at the Eastern cultures. They look at America, but Western cultures, I apologize, and you look at that and you see that it has really had a kind of uplift in those kind of cases. But Europe has kind of been doing those cases for a very long time, and it really kind of shows a different mold. So you could say the pop culture did affect America, but Europe has, or at least an aspect of Italy and those surrounding areas, have been kind of rampant with the ideologies of the sacramental of exorcism for a while, even before the movie Exorcist.
See, I didn't know that. So they've already been kind of ahead of the times, and I wonder sometimes when they bring movies out like that, it makes it more easier for his families to go look for help, because it's kind of, the United States has almost mainstreamed it,
Well, yeah, definitely. I think that also happens with the paranormal too. Even though there was Most Haunted and certain things and scary places on Earth, that really took place over in Europe when they did Flag Castle and stuff like that. You got to look at how the popularity of the paranormal really more exploded over here in America first. With the show Ghost Hunters, and of course there was other shows way before that, and you could really credit Scooby-Doo being one of the situations as well. But yeah, the popularity of it over here is trifold in my opinion.
Yeah, it's whatever the trend is at the time, and like you're saying about paranormal, all these shows, I always tell people, 12 years ago or whatever, before the paranormal shows started coming up on Sci-Fi, it was hard to get into locations. When you'd go ask somebody, they'd be looking at you like, what the heck is wrong with you? And nowadays, I'll be at a restaurant, and I hear people talking at another table, they're talking about they heard noises last night. They're like, oh man, you think it was a spirit or a demon or something going on? And I'm like, really? People just talking like that out in the open now, you know?
Yeah, it is interesting. You know, I remember the days of baby powder and bells on doors and all that stuff and tape recorders. But now, you know, and how hush hush it was. You know, families would contact us in the secrets of their phone and make sure nobody was around. Now, you know, they have the whole family around doing kumbayas, talking about the paranormal when they call us.
I know I remember back in the day, like you're saying, when you went to someone's house, they'd be like, please don't bring any, you know, let anybody know what you're doing. We didn't wear team shirts or anything back then. We just all showed up. Now it's like you go to a house. The last time I did a residential, I showed up there and they had their aunts, their cousins, everybody coming out to shake our hands and talk to us. And we're like, hey. And it's like, it's like we were supposed to be like a celebrity. And I'm like, yeah, we're not with any TV show. We're just here. They said they needed help. But yeah, the biggest reason I came up with this, the reason I did this question, I know it's kind of, like you said, you want to stay in the middle ground, but I just wanted to let people know that I feel that, like you said, I believe there is something that's considered a demon, the evilness, but it's not running rampant like everyone thinks. I don't think they're everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to try and let people know to bring the hysteria down, because there's people, you probably come across it, I come across where people are like petrified and they want to move out of their house, and it turns out to be something simple, natural happening in their house, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I do construction as my secular job, and you know, I'm a sheet metal mechanic by trade, and you know, there's been times where like people would be scared, they would hear noises. But it would be their flue pipe, their furnace, you know, kind of exhausting and then intaking, so that the furnace could do its its scheduled routine, especially when it's being used and people didn't, you know, of course, know what flue pipe is or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, we hear these noises at a certain time, and you know, of course, you know, they find out it's when they hit the T-stat and they call for air. And you know, the flue pipes are kicking, because it's exhausting and intaking the whole time. So I've had moments like that where there's a bunch of squirrels in their attic.
Yeah.
Many moments of that.
And you're up north. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, and I remember with the basement with the pipes and all of that, especially during the winter, you know, you're trying to get the hot water, and you're here, blah, 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 blah. But I never...
Yeah, pipes.
Yeah, I would never think, oh my God, we're being invaded, or, you know...
It's an alien attack.
You know what? You want to hear the funniest story of people saying demons? Years ago, I had this lady, she was on my team, Pam. She was an awesome psychic medium. We got called out to this residential. They called me up, and technically it was another team called me up and said, hey, can you help us out in the area? I'm like, yeah, what's up? Well, some team went in there, and they screwed these people up. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, you have to talk to the residents of the house. So I was like, all right, I call them up. I'm talking to them. And I'm like, well, what did these other investigators say? They said they were in my house for an hour. It's a trailer home. And they came out. They said they couldn't stay in there no more, the psychic medium and that. And I'm like, okay. And they said, to stay with my friend tonight, then go back tomorrow, pack all my stuff, and be out before night, because we have demons. And I'm like, oh my God, they only come out at night. I didn't know that. So the sad thing is, we went in there, and you know what it was? The lady it was a rent-to-own trailer that her church had helped through somebody. She had black mold growing up inside her one closet. Ooh. I almost fell through, because she goes, hey, stay to the right of the hallway. I'm like, why? Just stay to the right, because it's I almost fell through the trailer. And I actually told her, my psychic medium was like, she didn't get nothing in the house. It smelled like rotten food. And so when we went back out there, I told the lady, you know what? Don't worry about the paranormal. You need to get someone to come in and fix this trailer up for you and your daughter, because she had a teenage daughter, or get out of here. It's health. Oh, they were also right next to the main breaker. When I'm inside there, I could hear zzz outside the house. It was like the perfect storm, because she's like, I see shadows and I see this. And I'm like, I'm surprised you're not seeing anything else with all this stuff, you know? It was just very toxic situation, but in my belief, it wasn't paranormal, it was just health.
I had a similar story where one of my first cases actually studying demonology. One of my first cases that we were called in when I was working with Beyond the Veil Paranormal, which is Carl Johnson and Dina Palazzini, and I was a tech manager for them. And we went into a house where they had like a plethora of cats, and the whole house smelled like ammonia.
Yeah.
And we kind of wondered why they actually were seeing things and experiencing things. And, you know, we pretty much didn't stay much longer than that because we didn't want to get sick. But that house was like, I call it the house of pee house, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes you gotta, I think the other investigators got the same stuff we did, but sometimes people don't want to say it's not paranormal because then they feel like they're not credible. And I'm like, I'm there to help the family. I don't care if they think I'm credible. I'm going to tell you how it is. If it's like with the cats and that, it's a health thing here. It's nothing paranormal. Get this cleaned up. And if you're still having stuff, bring us back.
Yeah, I've never, you know, in most of my cases, I think maybe one time we had to disclose it because of reasons. But I've never ever, even if they're truly, in my opinion, and multiple other people's opinions, that there was a demon in that location, I would never tell the homeowner that you are dealing with a demon, because not only once you say that word, and it's of course undeniably, you know, sometimes it takes a lot of stuff to determine that. You know, once you drop that word, it really kind of scars the homeowners, as you were saying. And so I had only probably ever once told the homeowner that they had a demon in their house or they were dealing with one, and that was more so because one of the individuals was actually going on transit possession. So, you know, we had.
Oh, hey, we're back, and we don't have James anymore. I'm starting to debate on this TV whether it's kind of a 50-50 kind of, whether it's cursed or blessed. I guess it's a blessing. We did get James on here and got some good information about the topic, but then you got the curse side. I think all the power went out at the beginning, some weird electricity thing bouncing around between the antennas there, and then the TV decided I'm done with the guest and cut him off. So, I'll take the good with the bad for now. We'll just have to hope the next show, we'll keep our fingers crossed what's going to happen next. But I would like to thank James Annitto for being on and sharing his knowledge of the topic. And it was just a very cool interview. So you guys all have a good night. And if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to comment or anything, hit us right below the video. Put your comment in there, whether it's good or bad. I want to know. Send us some feedback. So, like I always say at the end of a show, keep the positive energy flowing, and I'll see everyone the next time around.